Hey everybody, it's Tuesday and I'm back for another video and welcome to day 24. Oh, 24. Hi everyone, hope you're amazing, had a nice day. Now, today I'm going to be doing a tag video I was tagged in by Tabloid Junk. Basically, he did a video where he was comparing Australian English to USA English. But no, so obviously I'm going to be comparing USA English to English. Obviously, I'm not joking now when I say I wrote down like 200 words. I'm not even joking. So I kind of narrowed it down, like here's my big list of words. I kind of narrowed it down to like some more sort of like more well-known words. But yeah. Now in a car, the front of it you call it a hood, but we call it a bonnet, and on the back you call it the trunk, but we call it a boot. What you call a cookie, we call it a biscuit. And actually a cookie to us is actually like a kind of biscuit. A cookie, I'll show you a picture now. This is what a cookie is to us. Yeah, but everything else that you call cookies, we call them biscuits. What you call pants, we call trousers, and in actual fact, pants to us are underwear to you, so, you know, it gets a bit confusing, but yeah, so, we call them trousers. What you call cotton candy, we call candy floss. A parking lot to you is what we call a car park. French fries is what we call chips, and obviously I know chips to you is what we call crisps. So, it can get a bit confusing, because obviously, when my friend Warren came down from Canada, he was like, can I have a bag of chips? And we're like, chips what you put in the oven, love. So that was quite funny. What you call a closet, we call a cupboard. What you call drapes, we call curtains. What you call a pacifier, we call a dummy or a sucker, or we've got so many different words for things, like it's unreal. We can call one thing like 20 different words. What you call a trash can, we call a rubbish bin. What you call a gas station, we call a petrol station. What you call soccer, we call football, and obviously I know football to you is what we call rugby, so to be fair, right, I don't know why you bloody call it football, because you use your bloody hands in rugby, you don't use your well, I know you use your feet now and then, but you use your hands. Don't know why you call it football. You don't use your feet. What you call a vacation, we call a holiday. What you call a pitcher, we call a jug. What you call a sweater, we call a jumper, or a hoodie, or a blazer, or a sweatshirt. We have literally we have so many words for jumper. What you call the freeway, we call the motorway. What you call a diaper, we call a nappy. I hate that word, nappy. It sounds so disgusting. It just sounds disgusting. What you call the sidewalk, we call the pavement. Now, it can be known as a footpath, but the majority of the time people say I'm just walking down the pavement. They don't say I'm walking down the footpath, because footpath to me is what I think of when you go through like a field or something. That's kind of like a footpath to me. What you call a baby carriage, now I think you call it a baby carriage, we call like a pram, a pushchair, a stroller, a buggy. We have so many different words for it, it's ridiculous. When you say you're waiting in a line, we say we're waiting in a queue. What you call a booger, we call a bogey. Now what you call jello, we call jelly, but I know jelly to you is what we call jam, so yeah, that's another little confusing one. What you call truck, we call a lorry. When you say you've got a crush on someone, we would normally say we fancy someone. What you call soda, we call fizzy drink. Like, you can refer to it as pop, but the majority of the time you just say you've got any fizzy drink or anything. You wouldn't really say, got any pop, you would just say fizzy drink. You go to the grocery store, we go to the supermarket, but actually when we're inside the supermarket, I don't know what you call it, the thing that you push your, do you call it a shopping cart? Where you do like, you know, the thing that you push your shopping in? We call it a trolley. And when it comes to like seasons and stuff, you call it fall and we call it autumn. That's different. Now this is quite funny actually, now about like sort of like gay insults and stuff, I know it's a bit odd to suddenly bring this up, but like in America obviously, you know, I always hear about people would call you like a fag and faggot and everything, but to us in England, a fag means a cigarette and a faggot is actually a kind of food. It's like a meatball. Which is quite funny really. But obviously in school when I was young, I would be called things like puff and batty and bender. They were the main words that I'd be called in school, so no one ever used to call me faggot or anything. It was always you're a batty, like you're a batty boy, you're a bender. That's what we used to get called, like, that was our insults. And quickly, just one more thing I want to add to it, just one little thing, because I got a comment from someone wondering about the age and stuff, so I don't know if anyone else didn't know as well. But actually in England, we can actually start like legally drinking and legally going clubbing and everything when we're 18 years old. So, you know, when we're 18 we can buy like alcohol and get drunk, you know. They like to start us young. I think I'm actually going to leave it at that now, because I could literally, like I said, I could literally be here for like another 20 odd minutes just talking different words, but you know, I need to let some of this sink in. But thanks for tagging me, TJ. It'd be interesting to see actually if any of the words I mentioned here from English people you say in Australia as well, because I know ours is quite similar, so if any of the words here that I said that you even say differently, please let me know. And my comment question of the day today is obviously, is there any more words that you guys know that are different? Please comment down below, tell me if I've missed anything out, anything, you know, just if you want to add anything to it, just like comment down below, you know. I just want to quickly say thank you to all the people who commented yesterday. I got so many comments, like I don't normally get that many comments, so it was quite cool having loads more. I did actually realise I had a lot of people from England watching me, because I always thought, you know, my audience were outside really, because obviously England's quite small, but no, I'm glad they got a lot of people from England. I actually have quite a lot of people from Sweden as well. That was a bit funny, because there was lots of people saying some Stockholm, there was some people just said Sweden, I'm not sure whereabouts in there, but yeah, I got a lot of people from Sweden, which was quite funny. And I have to say, a big shout out to, I don't know how this is, I'm going to be awful if I'm going to pronounce this probably wrong, but it's Seo Young Kwang? I think that's how you say it, I'm not too sure, but that's a fabulous viewer all the way from South Korea. Hey girl, like, oh my god, it's nice to have viewers from like pretty much all the way like from the other side of the world, so hello all the way from South Korea. You know, obviously I was expecting this, but I've got a lot of viewers obviously from America and Canada, obviously scattered around places, so hello to all my international viewers. It's nice to know that I've got like, it's really weird to think that so many people around the world know who I am. I know that sounds a bit bizarre, but you know, big up Roland or something, but you know, thank you for obviously viewing. I'm glad that I've spread around the world quite a lot really. It's just a bit strange to think that, you know, people watch me from like all over the world. It's I don't know, it's really hard to explain the way it feels like. Okay, so I'm gonna go now, this video's probably gone for way too long. Obviously, like I said, comment question of the day is, do you have any other words that you know of that are different? Please tell me down below, and obviously TJ, obviously like I said, I'm interested to see any other words that I covered in this video that you may say differently. But yes, I'll see you tomorrow, have a fabulous day, and yeah, 7 days left. Ungasha!